As the COVID surge reaches crisis levels in India, U.S. officials are forced to turn away non-citizens hoping to come here to America.
A year after the Arab Spring happened, I went there to speak to journalists and dissidents who were critical of the government. And, they call the Arab Spring the Facebook Revolution. And a lot of the people who I spoke to, had it not been for Facebook or Twitter, they wouldn't have been able to mobilize. They wouldn't have been able to gather for those mass demonstrations that we saw. If they don't have those means, can we see a success in India for what they're trying to do compared to what the Arab Spring was able to do?
I took a trip to Manuba University, where there was recently a large controversy surrounding the role of women and their traditional attire. You just heard from presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump on the horrific attack in Orlando. Right off the top, Donald Trump accusing presumptive Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton and President Obama of refusing to acknowledge radical Islam.
I was asked by my classmates, by children, if my dad, a turban-wearing Sikh, was Osama bin Laden. I was asked if he was a terrorist, if we all were terrorists. At that moment, I felt so small standing there in my brown skin. Earlier in my childhood, I changed my name. I created an easier to pronounce nickname to try to fit in. And that would follow me into my adulthood. It would follow me into my career as a broadcast journalist. Actually, until recently, when I was getting my master's in London, that's when I reclaimed my ethnic name, my given name.
I learned so much about myself. Like letting go of control is hard for some people to do. As you can probably tell from my accent, I traded places with James Corden. The timing just worked out perfectly for me to do this tonight and then make it back home to America in time for Thanksgiving. Oftentimes we hear about the immigrant story where, someone comes to a new country, they're trying to find themselves.
आज ਜਿਹੜਾ हैकिंग ਸਕੈਂਡਲ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਪੈਗਾਸਸ ਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਦੋਂ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਬਈ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਫੋਨ ਨੰਬਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗਾ
Some folks were seeing you being branded with the Indian flag, and they were sort of seeing that as racist because they thought that, you're just as Canadian as the next guy. Why is the Indian flag being used?
We're standing here in Black Lives Matter Plaza in Washington, D.C. You'll remember protesters were cleared out by rubber bullets when President Trump wanted to take a picture with a Bible in front of a church.
Feeling after the two officer-involved shootings is a familiar one for people here in the capital region. Just around this time last year, the last time Donald Trump was here in Albany was for an anti-SAFE Act rally at the Capitol. Like Trump supporters, Sanders supporters were lining up since way early this morning, and while it might be rainy and gloomy outside.
You just heard from Florida Senator Marco Rubio in Idaho speaking to supporters about his win in Puerto Rico ahead of Tuesday's Republican primary. The presidential hopeful receiving an endorsement from Senator Jim Risch of Idaho, known for his conservative views, who you saw just moments ago standing beside him.
Well, Karina, polls are officially closed in New Hampshire, and Texas Senator Ted Cruz hoping for a victory. Senator, having gone to Faith West, what's it like seeing students here at McKeel?
Well, it is wonderful.
Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump has been declared the winner in Louisiana with a 47% lead. He is now addressing supporters in West Palm Beach, Florida. We're going to take you there live.